So let's flip the script, though. The Dallas defense, guys, man, there was a lot of heat on them coming into this game. Then Thursday night happens, and they allow 26 rushing yards, Peter. Is that your major takeaway from this game?
Yeah, I mean, look, we showed the Cowboys defense getting run on so much on this network. I think we've showed Derrick Henry tossing the Cowboys defender more than we've seen the catch from Joe Montana to Dwight Clark. Like we just went big on that for 3 days and said they need to figure out this rush defense or they're in trouble. And guess what? That they did. Devin Singletary had 14 carries, had 26 yards for the Giants. And 1.1 yards per carry overall. This is Malik Neighbors. They tried getting him on a little trick play. No. They were on it. The Cowboys defense stepped up and answered the call. All those questions we had about their defensive tackles being too small, it wasn't evident yesterday. And then we knew that Malik Neighbors was going to get the targets. And besides one double move he had on Andrew Booth, it seemed like the Cowboys pass defense really shut them down. And they did that with their top 3 corners out. Trayvon Diggs left with dehydration issues at one point. So you had Andrew Booth, the rookie, and then Amari Oruwai, who came in and had that last pick at the end, who sealed the game. You have to give flowers where flowers are due. We spent 72 hours on this show building to this game, talking about how bad Mike Zimmer's run defense has been the last 2 weeks. In 72 hours, how this could be World War III if the Cowboys lose to the Giants. Well, the Cowboys beat the Giants. Yes. The Giants did not score a touchdown. And it felt like every single time it was third and anything, Daniel Jones threw a pass for whatever 1 yard less than anything was.
So if it was third and 11, what did he do?
He threw for 10 yards.
What if it was third and 27?
He threw for 26 yards. The Giants' offense last night was run, and then throw the ball one yard short of the sticks, and then punt or field goal. So that was it. Cowboys came in. They continued their dominance of the Giants in MetLife. And, for Dak Prescott to be 13-0 his career over the New York Giants since 2006, that's a real stat, and that is something that is both mental and physical. This guy just owns the Giants.
Yeah, like how Peter said, if you had Greg Joseph as your starting kicker on your fantasy football league, congratulations, because he had 19 points last night.
Yep.
Yeah, he had 19, 20-something points last night for you. I think the only guy that scored more points than him for the New York Giants was Malik Neighbors. But to your point, Peter, about the rush defense for the Cowboys, what I saw last night was how fast those linebackers were coming downhill to the line of scrimmage. So what does that do for your rush defense? Well, all of those double teams that we saw that the O-linemen were doing on those D-linemen for the Cowboys, and Mike Robb pointed it out, they were picking these guys up and putting them in the laps of the linebackers. Mm-hmm. When the linebackers show up so fast, those double teams can't stay on those D-linemen that long. They have to come off. So that line of scrimmage isn't being pushed so much. That's why a lot of their success last night had to do with those linebackers coming downhill, from Eric Kendricks to Maris Lufau. But the guy that really showed out, and the word is in his name, was overshown. The guy last night, he had 8 tackles and 1 pass defense. In week 1, he had 11 tackles, 1 sack, 1 TFL, and 2 QB hits against Cleveland. This is a young rookie that is playing at a level that if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, you have to be happy that you have somebody that can complement Eric Kendricks in the middle of your defense, that can fly around and make plays. So when I watched him at Texas, he reminded me of Isaiah Simmons when he was at Clemson, that long, rangy, athletic linebacker that is really good in space, but he's aggressive and can come downhill and make some plays in the run game. So that run game definitely looked better to me last night.
Oh, man, we loved Isaiah Simmons in the draft talk for a year.
I like his Overshown.
We liked him. I remember we compared Isaiah Simmons to LeBron. We were way in on him. And Overshown looks great, too. Dallas Cowboys, train's back in the tracks. We're good. We're fine. I agree with Peter. 1-3 is a complete crisis. It's a debacle. 2-2, we're absolutely fine. And I think Dak Prescott's postgame was perfectly telling. He's literally joking about, all right, long weekend, write nice things about us. He's been around the track enough times to know that would have been a really rough loss. He's also been around enough to know he was never going to lose to the Giants. He doesn't lose to the Giants. Peter, did you hear he changed his last name? His name is now Dak Mara. It's very – listen. If you think that's disrespectful, beat him one time ever. Dak Mara in Jersey on a Thursday night as an owner of the Giants. Listen, you think Rodgers owned the Bears? Rodgers is tearing tickets in Soldier Field compared to what Dak does to the Giants. By the way, they're 2-2. They already get the Giants later in the year, so that's the third win. So they're basically 3-2. So until anybody can do anything about that, the Cowboys are 3-2. And for the love of God, I remember how annoyed I was yesterday that please CeeDee Lamb, can you make a play?
Yeah.
All this Malik Neighbors hype, and I love Malik Neighbors too. How do you not? But CeeDee, dude, you're a made guy, you're a paid guy to wear that number and have your talent. It's time to make a big play. Well, here it is. Breaks a tackle. This is not the one. He goes down the sideline at a huge touchdown. He also had a 10-yard run.
That was a cool running play.
And it was great. And listen, I'm just glad CeeDee showed up and made a play. We saw just some signs of life for a Cowboys running game. Zeke had an 8-yard run.
Rico Dowdle.
Let's go. Rico Dowdle had a 9-yard run, and CeeDee had a 10-yard run. So if this team's really going to eventually win a playoff game or two, it's going to be Dak to CeeDee and just remnants somehow of some running game from the past, and the defense is going to have to play a lot better. Right now, it's treading water. We will never talk about this game again ever as it pertains to the Cowboys or the Giants. 20-15, ugly game on Thursday night in New Jersey, in which the Giants had 5 field goals, and the Cowboys just did what they did, which is beat them. So congratulations, you're 2-2. Good luck next week. But actually, remember, they're 3-2, guys, because they play the Giants again.
Yeah, Kyle, you were thinking yesterday that CeeDee, if you're watching, then you should be offended at the fact that we were trying to call out Malik Neighbors for having a great night. Apparently, CeeDee watched. The volume was up at the Marriott in Secaucus that the team was staying in, so that's great for him. Devin Singletary, he was supposed to have a game. The Cowboys' rush defense was Swiss cheese, I think teams had called him at times. So Devin Singletary had come in back-to-back touchdowns, back-to-back games. He had a touchdown. Was he going to make it 3? He did not, because the Cowboys and Mike Zimmer figured out their run defense. Kyle, Motor Singletary, he was not able to get it going yesterday.
Let me get into this.
Okay, go.
This is crazy. Jamie, we celebrate the irreverent here on this show, and I know that it was Giants-Cowboys last night. We had a whole slate of games coming up, and we'll get into it. I couldn't sleep last night because of this. Devin Singletary in 2024, bring up the picture from last night. This is an outrageous look for him. No gloves, no tape, no wristband, no elbows, nothing. Completely bare. That's an outrageous look for 1964. No one was. Steve Largent at least had a wristband on. It is remnants of Wayne Corbett in that same New Jersey area. Have you ever seen this in this era? The craziest part is, Peter.
Did they ask him about it?
Yes. But let's go back to last year. He's on the Texans, right? Okay, he's on the Houston Texans.
Okay.
He's got gloves on. All right, let's go back to Buffalo. This is not like his thing that he's high school coach, so he's got gloves on, and we got pictures of him in wristbands. I could not believe what I was watching last night. And sure enough, they've had some fumbling problems. He's had some fumbling problems, and he said, I'm just going to strip it all down.
I love that.
Not even one speck of tape on a little finger. You will never see this before. In one of the most overused, beaten to a pulp internet expressions, I'm going to say it right now. Hang it in the Louvre. I like that he's doing that. That look is back. The no wristband, no tape look is back. I know there's a lot of things that happened in the last game last night. I don't care. That was one of the most noteworthy, most outrageous things. You should see the tweets about it. People were losing their mind. Never mind like how someone shows up to the Met Gala. How Devin Singletary showed up to Week 4 against the Cowboys was the craziest look at all. You can't top that. Lady Gaga, Jared Leto, anybody. Bjork with the goose. J-Lo with the thing. That is the most unbelievable look.
The South Park guys as J-Lo.
As J-Lo and with New York fashion. That's the most outrageous look I've ever seen for a high carry running back in 2024 to just go commando on both his arms. Devin, you maniac. I kind of like it. I might be in for Halloween. I like it. I got my costume, guys.
Easy purchase.